coming up on TCU News Now.
An update on Texas Construction University.
The REC is helping students get spring break body ready.
And students were checking each other out at the library.
This is TCU News Now.
Hello, and welcome to the first TCU News Now of this semester. I'm Ryder Butchery.
And I'm Luke Morand. There's been pretty heavy construction on our campus over the last year. Students joke about the constant construction at TCU, calling it Texas Construction University. We asked Construction Director Harold Lehman for an update on current projects on campus. Greek housing is currently 2 weeks ahead of schedule. The first phase is comprised of 6 sorority houses and 1 fraternity house. This will be done by the end of July. The second phase is comprised of 4 fraternity houses. Construction for that phase will start in May and will be complete by July 2018.
The Fine Arts Building will start construction in May. The design is still being finalized. The School of Music is also being designed. Construction is expected to start May 2018. The Business School design is complete, but funding is still being collected. Construction is expected to start in May and be done by December 2018.
Moody South's second and third floor will be getting new concrete floors in May. This will be complete before the fall semester. Construction on Robert Carr Chapel is scheduled to be finished by the end of this May. The renovation should make the chapel more accessible and freshen up its appearance.
2 TCU alumni have donated $5.5 million to support the expansion of the Neely School of Business. Marilyn and Tom Sumner donated the money in hopes it would help the Neely School enhance its reputation. The expansion plans will result in new facilities called the Spencer and Marlene Hayes Business Commons, named in recognition of a $30 million foundational gift from the Hayes family. Low oil prices last spring affected the project's funding, but renovations are now scheduled to begin this year.
Some Greek organizations are in trouble for hazing violations. Alpha Chi Omega sorority was listed with the Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity as Greek organizations that violated the TCU hazing code in the fall semester. Alpha Chi Omega was given a warning, but Sigma Alpha Epsilon was temporarily suspended through January 2018. Alpha Chi Omega is the second sorority found in violation of hazing in the past 3 years. Sigma Kappa was put on probation for hazing in spring 2016 through this May.
Protesters gathered in international airports across the country to petition President Trump's travel ban. TCU students were involved in the protest at DFW International Airport. The order blocks travel between the U.S. and 7 Muslim-majority countries. Passengers arriving from Somalia, Libya, Sudan, Yemen, Iran, Iraq, and Syria were detained upon their arrival in the U.S. Some TCU students are concerned about President Trump's travel ban and are planning to protest. A group of students and faculty are planning a march on Thursday to show solidarity with the local Muslim and immigrant community. Organizers say the march will start at noon in front of the founder's statue. 6 students from 3 of the countries included in the travel ban attend TCU. Chancellor Boschini released a statement saying, "I urge each of you to remember who we are at TCU. We are all members of the Horned Frog family. We have a special culture here that we all must work to protect and nurture." Boschini also said, TCU values the dignity and respect for the individual and a deep heritage of inclusiveness and service.
Students, faculty, and staff are encouraged to join the TCU Interfaith Bus Tour Saturday, February 4th. The bus will take participants on an exploration of religions throughout the city. The tour will visit Congregation Beth El, First Christian Church downtown, and the Islamic Association of Tarrant County. After the visits, participants will be able to engage with religious leaders and ask questions, all while learning about the importance of unity between different religions. Space is limited, so reserve your spot on their website, faith.tcu.edu.
TCU Housing and Residence Life hosted the first human library on campus. Students volunteered to become human books and shared their stories and experiences. Reporter Riley Knight went to the library to check out the experience.
From horror stories to fairy tales, every library has its shelves stocked with books. But TCU just brought a new type of book to campus, the human book. For the first time in TCU history, Housing and Residence Life put on an event where students could check out humans and hear their stories. The Human Library is an event where students can volunteer themselves as books and share their experiences and backgrounds in 20-minute sessions. 30 people volunteered, each with unique narratives to tell.
I always believe in dialogue and communication. That breaks down all sorts of barriers by all means.
Senior Izuru Pereira titled his book, Who Am I?, and talked about growing up in Sri Lanka, an island off the coast of India. First-year graduate student Sarah Chu talked about her experience living in Singapore and the cultural and economic differences between Eastern and Western societies.
If you don't run into these people on a regular basis, you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And this is an opportunity to just kind of shed some light on it.
48-year-old sophomore Michelle Johnson shared what she learned as a combat medic in the Army and the importance of flexibility.
They seem to really enjoy my story, and I know I really enjoyed it, to be able to just interact with another person about something that fascinates me, or just something that I like.
Hall director Imani Wimberly, who helped organize the Human Library, is excited over the event's turnout and hopes to see it become an annual event on campus.
For the TCU community, it is a great way to celebrate the diversity and the difference that we have on campus, right?
Though this is TCU's first Human Library, Housing and Residence Life here on campus hopes to see this event as a regular addition to TCU's calendar. Riley Knight, TCU News Now.
And if you missed out on this year's Human Library, don't worry, the organizers plan to continue the event.
The Blue Ballroom was packed Tuesday for the Why Diversity Matters speaker. Stanford professor Albert Camarillo discussed his experience as a Mexican American with students and faculty. His speech covered the historical progression of race relations in the United States, as well as ways to cope with immigration in our society. Students say Dr. Camarillo gave them a new perspective on diversity.
I've heard a lot about diversity before, and I thought it was going to be a lot of the same rhetoric that I've heard over and over again, that we're already a diverse country, there's a lot of different things to offer, and we should seek this and be proactive to gaining more of this knowledge and accepting it and promoting it more. So coming here, I expected to hear more of that. But since the presentation, I learned a lot more than I expected to, which is very good.
The event was part of SGA's efforts to continue discussions about inclusion.
The Rec Center has a new challenge for climbers, the Mile High Climbing Challenge. Climbers are being challenged to climb the 30-foot rock wall as many times as possible this month. Staff will be keeping progress cards of how many times people have climbed. At the end of the month, climbers can see how far they've made it up the north face of the Eiger Mountain. Based on the amount they climbed, climbers can receive prizes such as water bottles, carabiners, and t-shirts. The competition ends February 28th.
Many students say they're already thinking about how to get in shape for spring break. Our Elizabeth Campbell has the story on how the campus rec center is helping out.
Whether it's the treadmill, the weights, the track, or in the mood-lit yoga studio, the TCU Recreation Center offers students lots of ways to get in shape for spring break. This semester, they're also offering a spring break boot camp.
That one's kind of gearing up toward, don't wait too long to get ready for spring break. It's kind of a circuit style, so weights and conditioning and all that kind of stuff combined in kind of a high-intensity interval training type of class.
The class begins February 6th and meets on Mondays and Wednesdays until March 8th. Senior Cami Fannin is a frequent participant in the rec classes.
I take yoga, I take bar, I take the abs/core classes, I take Zumba, I take hip-hop cardio, I take cycling, so I like to do at least one class normally once a day.
Cami says the social aspect of the classes is what brings her back.
It's such a great experience, and you get such a great workout. You're with your friends, you're doing it together. Like, I take bar with a lot of my friends, and it hurts so much, but we just look at each other and just start laughing, because it's oh my gosh, you can get through the pain, you're almost there.
The TCU Wellness Program Manager says that social aspect of workout classes is great motivation.
Accountability partners, people that are going to be there, that you know are going to be there on the morning that you don't want to get up and go, then those are the times that it's good to be part of something.
Students shouldn't plan on any magical results between now and spring break, though. Nutritional Sciences Assistant Professor Dr. Jada Stevenson says don't expect to lose more than 8 pounds before March.
So 1 to 2 pounds per week is the recommended weight loss rate.
Students can sign up for the Spring Break Boot Camp and pay the $50 fee at the rec. Elizabeth Campbell, TCU News Now.
And if you weren't ready for the spring break class, don't worry. There is also a summer break boot camp starting April 3rd.
But if you're more into dieting and looking for some moral support, the TCU Weight Watchers group meets Wednesdays at noon in room 41 of the University Rec Center.
For more information, you can contact Director of Special Projects Yvonne Mann at y.mann@tcu.edu.
When we come back, we're adding another TCU alum to our list of reality TV contestants.
And TCU took on San Antonio to explore the world of gaming.
Before doers, dreamers, and trailblazers make their mark on the world, there was TCU. TCU, where dreams take their course.
The College of Science and Engineering is helping students prepare for future employment with a series of lectures.
The most recent Fireside Forum discussed the importance of communication at work. Shane Battis has the story.
I've had bosses that lost their temper, but came back in an hour later and said, "George, I apologize. I lost my temper. I know. Let's try to figure out how we won't do that next time."
Clear communication is a big part of being a useful employee. The Science and Engineering College is preparing students for work life through a lecture series about fitting into a professional environment. Panelists taught students how to connect with coworkers, clients, and bosses in the most recent lecture.
No offense to you.
Sunbelt Middle Market Manager Jenny Fox talked about how she deals with upset customers. She advises students to steer away from emails and text messages to have a more personal conversation. She says an emotional connection is the key.
If you can simply pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I'm here, I understand something's wrong, I'm here to listen to you, we will make it right, let me hear your concerns." Just allowing the customer to vent usually is all that really it needed to be done.
Silverback Exploration CEO George Young agreed and also warned students not to use aggressive language in a written message. He says a poorly worded email or text can't be taken back once it's sent. Young recommends students keep their confrontations off the keyboard.
You have a problem with somebody, you get in front of them. You do it face to face or you get on the phone. 99% of all telephone calls are not recorded. Remember that.
The February Fireside Forum is set to be the last one for the academic year. It will feature a panel about success in the workplace and is open to TCU students from all colleges.
There's good news for potential transfer students. TCU is bringing back the Chancellor Scholarship. It offers a full 3 years tuition for eligible transfer students. Criteria for students includes a minimum 3.85 GPA and minimum 60 transferable hours. The scholarship hasn't been offered since 2009, but is supposed to increase transfer enrollment and attract high-achieving transfer students.
Alex Apple will be joining the list of TCU alumni to participate in reality TV shows. Apple is a contestant on MTV's new show, Stranded with $1 Million. Cast members are left on an island for 40 days and must survive to win $1 million. Supplies for survival can cost thousands of dollars and are paid out in the $1 million prize. Apple said his interest in the show Survivor pushed him to audition.
Well, I've always liked the show Survivor. And so when you apply for Survivor, you make like a 3-minute video about your life. And so I've always thought it's interesting, like what would you put in a 3-minute video about your life? You know, because you got to stand out or be unique in some way. And so I was watching some popular crew members casting videos, and I don't even know couldn't even tell you what website I was on. I came across a call for an untitled survival adventure show. I sent them some basic facts about myself and a headshot, and lo and behold, the process was started.
Apple graduated with a journalism degree, so we'll see if that background helps him out in this adventure. The show is set to premiere February 21st at 9 p.m.
Olympic gold medalist Shawn Johnson came to TCU on Tuesday night. The gymnast visited the DJ Kelly Alumni Center as part of Delta Gamma biannual lectureship in values and ethics. Johnson spoke about her life as an accomplished gymnast and an outcast. Delta Gamma member Kinsey Floyd decided to bring Johnson to the event because of her relatability.
TCU students road trip down to San Antonio for the 3rd annual PAC South Gaming Convention. The event allows attendees to try the newest games and talk to famous YouTube personalities. Hank Kilgore has the story.
The 3rd annual PAX South is a mixture of games, people, and passion. Thousands of gamers from across the world come each year to play the newest games, buy merchandise, and compete in tournaments. It's also an opportunity for serious fans to show off their costumes.
So what are you guys dressed up as here? I'm Jesse McCree from Overwatch, and I think it's about high noon.
And I'm doing Eris from Final Fantasy VII.
Today I'll be Sub-Zero. Fallout Forge, so some Vault Dwellers. So all kinds of fun.
Yeah. Did y'all make these yourselves?
Completely from scratch, 100%.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, so drafted the suits, drafted the props, and built them everything.
Most of it, yes. I didn't make the wig, obviously, and I did not make this.
And what are you looking forward to at PAX?
I'm looking forward to all the free games you can try out. There's a lot of indie games here. Based on previous years, it looks like there's a lot more content, things you can try out, and more stuff to get more free things.
So what have you done so far at PAX? Are you having a good time?
Yeah, actually just kind of looked around. I got to play the Nintendo Switch.
The Nintendo Switch had the longest line in all of the expo.
We've been waiting about 5.5 hours to get the opportunity to even get in line.
Nintendo's newest system is a hybrid between a full-blown console and a handheld. It's set to release on March 3rd.
It was very different from anything they've had before. Basically the best way to describe it is a Game Boy on steroids.
Smaller companies had the chance to show off their new games as well.
They immediately die, which you'll find out. And so there's that's kind of...
Developer Frozen Byte's newest game, Has Been Heroes, was demoed at the show and is set to release on March 28th.
And that will unlock new spells, new items, new areas, new enemy types.
Hank Kilgore, TCU News Now.
PAC South is held in San Antonio every January, and tickets for the 2018 conference go on sale in May.
That new Nintendo console looked pretty cool, but I think I'm going to keep using my Wii.
Yeah, the Wii has been around so long, I can't imagine something replacing it.
That's the end of this week's TCU News Now.
For all your TCU news, check out tcu360.com.
Or follow us on Twitter at TCU360.
Have a great day.